Arizona's Attorney General has just announced multiple charges.
The indictment does name 11 alleged fake electors accused of submitting a document to Congress falsely declaring that Trump had won Arizona.
Rudy Giuliani, the longtime Trump lawyer, Mark Meadows, the former White House chief of staff, John Eastman, the lawyer who authored the so-called blueprint for a coup,
and Christina Baum, the Republican National Committee's senior counsel for election integrity.
Wait, the Republican National Committee's senior counsel for election integrity got indicted? She broke the law?
The charges include fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. Trump is named as unindicted co-conspirator 1 in the case, which claims Trump and his allies schemed to prevent the lawful transfer of the presidency. The Trump campaign calls the indictment another example of Democrats' weaponization of the legal system.
Well, there is weaponization, all right, but based on the indictment, it revolves around MAGA Republicans shooting themselves with their own stupidity and narcissism.
This was the scene back on December 14, 2020. It's all right there on tape.
Yeah, I mean, they taped it.
They taped it just to make sure, you could see it. When 11 people met at the Republican Party headquarters in Phoenix to sign a certificate claiming to be Arizona's 11 electors.
That's right. Despite Joe Biden winning Arizona by 11,000 votes, the Trump officials and allies met in Phoenix, broke the law by signing invalid election certificates, and recorded the criminal scheme on videotape.
I have to wonder what lawyer's taking the case. So let me review you recorded yourself committing the crime,
Yeah.
then you signed a document committing a crime and posted it to social media?
MSNBC's Joe Scarborough, your turn.
These are wild charges. I'm sure none of this ever happened.
Yeah.
We're going to get some corroborating witnesses. We'll help you out. We'll get reasonable doubt.
Okay.
Nobody will even know this happened.
This is what we do.
Because it never happened.
Yeah.
There's a video? You have a video of the conspiracy? I mean, come on. What's wrong with these people?
You signed it?
You signed it.
You made it official.
I don't
see.
know. I don't know, Willie. Not the sharpest tools in the shed here.
Either that or it's a cult.
Actually, it could be both, as in stupidity and a cult. Anyway, for all the ridicule of MAGA lunatics, and I suppose we should have seen this coming with Rudy election interference hair dye Giuliani, this is still serious stuff. Here's the explanation from Arizona's Attorney General.
Arizona's election was free and fair. The people of Arizona elected President Biden. Unwilling to accept this fact, the defendants charged by the state grand jury allegedly schemed to prevent the lawful transfer of the presidency.
Now, if you are keeping score at home, the Arizona indictment is not the only fake elector case that names Donald Trump or labels him an unindicted co-conspirator.
Trump was also named an unindicted co-conspirator in Michigan, where 16 Republicans are charged with illegally trying to replace electoral votes for Biden with electoral votes for Trump.
The biggest difference between the Michigan and Arizona cases is the videotape evidence. In Michigan, the defendants did not record themselves committing the alleged crime. In Arizona, most of the defendants were on camera and seemed quite pleased with themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a cult. They'll do anything for him. They will commit a crime on camera for Donald Trump. Here you go. Exhibit A.
Legal experts say both fake elector cases are strong. And remember, there's already a 2020 election fraud-related case in Georgia where Donald Trump is a criminal defendant, not just an unindicted co-conspirator. There is a chance the Georgia case will go to trial before the November 2024 election. Arizona and Michigan will not. However, the Arizona indictment could have an immediate impact on Trump's ongoing New York criminal trial and presidential campaign. And that's because one of the Trump officials charged in Arizona is Boris Epshteyn. Epshteyn is not only a top Trump campaign advisor, but Epshteyn has, as Political reports, been something of a quarterback for the various legal teams working on the former president's defenses in 4 criminal cases. And by the way, Epshteyn already has a criminal record, including an assault conviction and some creepy stuff with 2 women. By the way, since I just borrowed a phrase written by the News daily newsletter, and I urge all of you to subscribe. Here's an entire paragraph. The overall conspiracy, just as in Georgia, involved getting a slate of fake electors to vote for Trump so that state officials in Congress and Vice President Mike Pence would have props on hand when they play-acted that the electors and their votes were real. All told, there are now 35 fake electors across the country facing criminal charges because they thought it would be fun and exciting and patriotic to subordinate the legal process to their own fifis and cosplay as electors. By the way, the alleged mastermind of the fake elector scheme is former Trump pro bono lawyer John Eastman. And here's another great paragraph from the news. Quote, let's consider how guilty he is not of these charges, of which he's presumed innocent, but generally as a human being. Eastman is so inherently guilty that even Justice Thomas recused himself from an Eastman appeal. As constitutional scholars well know, a Thomas recusal is one of the events foretold in the 7 Scrolls, unsealed by the Lamb in the Book of Revelation, at Mordor, I think. As I said, subscribe to the news. It's free. And the fact is, we all need a lot of humor and sarcasm as we sort through the various legal developments and charges involving MAGA world. By most accounts, the Trump crowd is filled with people who are incredibly stupid. Many of the MAGA world leaders and lawyers have allegedly broken the law. We can either cry and boo-hoo that Donald Trump has a chance of returning to the White House, or we can laugh at him and at his corrupt team and work like hell to defeat them. We should choose the latter and be grateful that so much alleged criminality was recorded on camera by the alleged criminals. By the way, House Republican Oversight Chair James Comer has finally woken up from part of his Trump stupor and is now seeking to end the Biden impeachment probe.
Bribery, allegation, and do you believe that you will be able to prove that? Jim Comer.
I sure hope so.
The Republican chairman's hopes have been crushed. James Comer, privately fed up and done with the Biden impeachment probe and desperate for an off-ramp. Quote, Comer is hoping Jesus comes so he can get out. One of the GOP lawmakers who spoke to Comer told CNN he is fed up. Several Republicans admit the evidence against President Biden is just not there. And recently, Democrat Jared Moskowitz called Comer's bluff on impeachment.
And so I just think we should do it today. Let's just call for it. I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman. I want to help you out. You can second it, right? Like, make the motion to impeach President Biden. Go ahead. It's your turn. You second it. No, nothing. Okay, we got nothing. So I want to, with my last couple minutes, show the American people that they're never going to impeach Joe Biden. It's never going to happen because they don't have the evidence. Okay, this is a show.
If you have documented receipts of foreign governments writing checks or giving credit card payments to Joe Biden, show it to us. We've been at this for a year now. We haven't seen anything.
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Where's Steve, who wrote, Comer isn't qualified to run a Slurpee machine. Hey, let's be careful with that one. I like Slurpees, and they are not easy to make and keep from spilling over. But I get your point. I look forward to reading your comments about the Trump allies getting criminally busted thanks to their own stupidity and video. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.